Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel I show you simple but effective ways of maintaining a stress-free financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, well, hello everyone and happy Friday. We have made it to the end of another week. And in my case, my kids are going to be starting school soon. So we've got a little bit of last minute school shopping to do this weekend. I'm going to be taking advantage of tax-free weekend, which is always a celebratory time here because any back to school items are actually tax-free for this particular weekend. They do this every year in the state of Texas. And I actually really, really like it because our sales tax is so high. So anyways, that is not why we're here today. We are going to be doing the weekly check-in. So if you happen to be new to this style of budgeting, in our house, we utilize a zero-based budgeting method, which means that we come up with a plan for every single dollar that comes into our household. In our particular case, we cash stuff half of that and we leave the other half of it in our checking account, and it serves as sort of like a buffer, but it's also because the money that we leave in our checking account is the money for our bills and expenses, things that are billed monthly. We just leave that in there rather than risking not having money in our checking account at the right time to pull it out and send it off. And so with everything else that we cash stuff, if we happen to use our debit card or we buy something online from a category that we cash stuff, we have to reconcile that purchase and then take that money back to the bank. And that's sort of what this video is for here in particular. But also, my husband and I go over these expenses, every expense, whether it's, cash or online, whether it's cash stuffed or it just stays in our checking account. We go over all of those expenses so that we can maintain our budget and know for sure that we are not spending outside of any of our boundaries that we've set for ourselves. So that is an important part of budgeting. And I don't know if I've ever really talked about it with you guys. I mean, I do mention, here on my channel that it's something that we do usually about 2 times a week, just so that we can stay on top of it and we don't have any time that feels super overwhelming where we're spending like hours and hours trying to reconcile purchases. It doesn't usually come down to that anyway, because we really try to rein in what we spend, but it's just a good practice and it really helps you maintain the budget that you plan for yourself at the beginning of the month. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my budget planner here and jump back to, no, not my bank. Oh, I will need my bank return tracker actually. So let me grab my expense tracker and my bank return tracker. My expense tracker is back here. This will give me a little bit of smooth surface. Oh, I'm gonna grab this one too. You guys don't even need to see this, but I'm grabbing this because it helps me cover the expenses until I get to them. So now that I've pulled these out, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in and then we will get into the expense tracking. All right, here we go. So I am just gonna jump right in and say straight off the bat that this video is not going to be a very long one because we didn't do a lot of spending over this last week, and a lot of these purchases fall under the same category, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I am also going to use this video as an opportunity. Many of you, not many of you, but maybe many of you will remember there was a shirt that I ordered from a French brand and I was really struggling with the return, and a couple people asked about it in the comments in Wednesday's video. So I'm going to talk about that story too once we get through the expenses before we actually do the cash unstuffing, because of the fact that I don't have that much to go over with you guys, and I'll explain why here. So I'm uncovering all of these expenses at one time. No, not that one. Just these first 3, Chipotle, Taco Bell, and Chick-fil-A. So what we did last weekend, it was super fun. Everybody got to pick whatever fast food they wanted, and we had like a fast food movie night here at the house, which is really, really fun. And the kids both wanted Chick-fil-A, so that worked out. So that was $40.06. That's this expense right here. I wanted Taco Bell. If you guys have been around here for a while, you know that is my vice. I have to eat the carnivore diet for my health, but if I ever go off the rails, it is usually with Taco Bell, because that is my fast food vice. And so that's what I got. So it was $21.91. and I'll be returning $22 to the bank for that one. And believe me, I felt that one the next day. I don't get like the tummy aches that people say that Taco Bell causes them, but just like joint inflammation and stuff. And so it was pretty intensive after that, but that's why I don't do it, because I would rather not feel icky after eating food. I like to just feel good after eating food. So that was me. And then Mr. Simple picked out Chipotle. And so that was $20.95. And we'll be returning $21 to the bank. In the interest of full disclosure, we don't have this cash sitting in our envelope over here. I am going to return whatever I do have in Dine Out. I don't think it's much. But we will make up for this throughout like the month and stuff. We do that from time to time. It was sort of like an unplanned thing, but we were so glad that we did it because it was really enjoyable. Actually, we just had such a fun time. And whenever I get a break from cooking every now and then is always a welcome experience. So it was quite enjoyable. Next up at my Target trip, I had something of a wild experience at Target this past week. And because I have the time, I'm going to tell you guys, this is like a story time video, I guess. So when I was at Target this past week, I had a run-in with a gentleman. Actually, he was not a gentleman. He was a creeper who, he just kept walking by my vehicle while I was still in my vehicle before I got out to go into the store. I didn't get out of my car until he was some distance away because I didn't feel safe getting out of my car. And then he kept trying to get closer to me while I was walking to the door to the building, but there were enough people around that he just didn't. And he made me so nervous when I was getting out of my car that I forgot to take in a return that I had. So when I was standing inside, I went in and I was like, you know what I need right now? I need some Starbucks. So I went in and I was standing in line at Starbucks, and then I realized, oh shoot, I left my return in my car. So I went back outside because when I first went back out, I noticed I didn't see him around. And so I felt safe to go back to my car. I thought, oh, maybe he gave up the ghost and left. And as I was within like spitting distance of my car. And he like popped out between two vehicles and got really close to me until he realized that there was somebody else still in the parking lot that was very close to us. And so then he made his way away from me. But he still tried getting close to me again once I grabbed my return out of my car and I went into the building. But I grabbed Target security because I was like, this is ridiculous. And I got a really good description of him. And I felt very safe after they were on it because their security guy looked like he belonged in security. That's all I'll say. So anyways, so after that, I wanted a little Starbucks treat for myself. So I got some egg bites, which I can eat with minimal trouble. And I got a coffee for myself, which was lovely. And so the total came to $11.11. I used the Starbucks app and I had money in my Starbucks app, but the girl behind the register, I think, was new and she like messed up ringing it up or whatever. So it just went on my Target card, which was fine with me too, because I was like, whatever, I got 5% off of this. So that's what that was for. And again, with the Dine Out money, I'm just going to return whatever I have in here and we will work out the discrepancy throughout the rest of the month. Because again, all of this stuff was sort of unplanned. We usually try to stuff in advance of a plan like this or stuff in advance of a night like this, but it was spontaneous and that was lovely too. So that's what we did with that. And then actually in my Target trip, I spent $115.86 and it broke down into a couple different categories. We got $9 from toiletries, $25 from hers, $30 from gifts, and $51.86 from home maintenance. I'll be returning $9, $25, $30, and $52 respectively. There may be some discrepancy with what's in the envelope, but all of that is kind of being sorted out since I did take such a break from stuffing for like a month and a half. We did do a catch-up stuffing. That's what my Wednesday video was. But in the interest of like just trying to get everything back on track, we may work out some of, if there is a deficit in any of these categories, we'll work that out. So, and then last up, we had a podiatrist appointment for my daughter and it was a $50 copay. So that will be coming out of our medical envelope. And that's it. So before we jump into the cash unstuffing, I'm just going to tell you guys really quickly my little story of the shirt that I purchased from this brand called Rosé Paris. And I'm telling you this because if you watched a video that I posted of like my fashion wish list back in the spring, there was a picture that I came across on Pinterest of this woman wearing an outfit that I absolutely loved and is very much my vibe. Like, I have a very sort of low-key, casual way that I dress. I don't wear a lot of color, and I'm not very like flashy. I'm a very sort of like just the basics kind of dresser. But I saw this top and I thought it was really cute. And then I did so much internet sleuth digging and I found the brand Rosé Official, or Rosé Paris. And that's where the top was from. And initially they didn't have it in stock, but I contacted them and they said, oh, this will likely be re-released with our archive sale. Well, don't you know, that's exactly what happened. So it was re-released with the archive sale and it was a $39 top, but the shipping, since it was coming from Paris, was like $25, I think. It was unbelievable. And foolishly, I only ordered one size. I ordered my traditional size, but when it came in, I didn't like the fit. And the reason for that is because, so I'm 5'10" and I am all torso. I mean, I have long legs. Like, I need a long in my jeans, but I have a very long torso also. And so if a top is just a little bit cropped, it looks extra cropped on me. And so because I just got my size, instead of going like a size or two bigger, it looked super cropped. And that's not really my vibe either. I don't mind wearing a crop top. I will wear crop tops, but I prefer them to be just like maybe like an inch or two of midriff, not anything drastic. And this was like I was wearing a sports bra. Like, that's how short it was on me. So I was like, okay, I need to get this in a bigger size. And so I went online. I kept my original size initially just because I thought, let me just see how the other sizes fit and then I'll go from there. So I ordered the next two sizes because I'm no fool. If I'm going to pay $25 shipping, I'm just going to order the same or two sizes in one shipment. So I ordered the next two sizes, tried them both on, and I don't even remember which one I landed on, but I picked one of them. And so then I contacted them and I asked them about like a return. Or no, I'm sorry. When I initially tried on the first one, I contacted them and asked them about an exchange. And they said, we don't do exchanges. You're going to have to ship the item back to us. And so that's why I decided to order two of the next two sizes up, because I thought if I'm wrong with one of them, at least now I've ordered both in one shipment and I'm not paying $25 shipping in one go or on like three separate occasions. So that's why I ordered the two sizes. So then I contacted them and I said, okay, I've settled on the size that I want. I want to return these two. And I sent them the order numbers and the sizes and everything. And they gave me this full page of instructions of how to send it back to them, what I was supposed to do with like the return labels and the packing slips and all of this sort of stuff. Like, it was like the most involved return I have ever had to do ever in all of my time buying things in retail. And I followed every instruction to the letter because I was like, I don't want to have any more drama with this, because I had to pay the return shipping fee too. So if you're keeping track, I had to spend $25 each time I ordered a shipment. So that was $50 shipping for a $39 shirt, but I really wanted the shirt. And then I had to pay the return shipping fee, which was $29. So I'm out, $79 on shipping these shirts. So it was just chaos, but I thought, whatever, I'm justifying it in my brain somehow because I really liked this top. So, and I do love it and I've worn it and it's fabulous and amazing and wonderful. And I'm so glad that I bought it, but this was like a real fiasco. So it gets sent out. I'm watching the progress. Like, I'm tracking it the whole way, and it gets to France. It goes through customs. It gets to the brand and they return it to me. So then I had to wait an additional like 2 weeks before it made its way back to my mailbox. And all it said was like rejected by, whatever. And so I emailed them because I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I followed everything. I'm like, I don't understand why you returned it to me. You gave me these instructions. I followed the instructions to the letter. what's going on here. And she asked me some follow-up questions, and I confirmed, like, and I took pictures. Like, I was like, yes, because she asked if I put my my packing slip taped it on the outside of the box. Like, that was one of the things that they wanted me to do. I've never done that before. And I showed her the picture of the packing slip for both of the returns, everything. And she was just like, okay, well, we don't typically do this, but as a courtesy for you, we're going to refund your money to you and you can keep the shirts. So that's what they did. So if you're interested, I do have the other 2 shirts linked in my Poshmark. I will leave my Poshmark linked below for you if you are interested in this shirt. So anyways, yeah, it was an absolute nightmare, and I will not be buying from that brand again. I love their quality, and I think that their construction is fabulous. Like, the whole thing is really lovely, but they're too small at this point to not have hiccups like this. And that was just what I didn't like, was that they were treating me as if their error was my problem still, because they rejected my return, even though I did everything they asked me to do. And then they made it seem as though giving me my money back was a real courtesy. And I'm like, no, that you owe me this because I followed your instructions and you broke your promise, essentially. So anyways, that's what happened. And like I said, I will leave my Poshmark linked below for you if you are interested in purchasing anything from my closet. I do still have a couple of things listed up there. I haven't replenished it recently, but I do have some other things to list as well. But anyways, I'm going to zoom you guys out now, and we're going to do the unstuffing. All right, here we go. So I am just going to, do we have any? We do have high priority. So I'm going to pop in here really quickly and grab out some things. I like to go in order from high priority down because it's just easier that way. So I have to grab 50 from medical, and I have 50, so that's nice. And then remaining in medical, I've got 1, 200, 20, 35, 40, 41, 42, and 43. So I have 243 left in medical, and I just remembered too, I've got to grab my little bank return tracker here. So let me go. I always forget the date. I think it's is it the 8th? I think it's the 8th. So medical, I returned 50 and I've got 243. Okay, sorry about that. So, okay, so now that I did that, I'm gonna just check this off and then pop back to, we'll just see what's next. Medical, car expenses, home maintenance, 20, 40, 50, 2. 1 and 2. All right, and left in home maintenance, we've got 11. Oops. So 11, I returned 52, home maintenance, and put a check mark there. Let's see, gifts. Okay, so toiletries, I think toiletries is empty. Yes, it is. So I'm just gonna have to reconcile this when I plan out my cash stuffings for the month of August, which I actually haven't even done yet because we don't have a cash stuffing coming until next Monday. So, but because I don't have a check mark here, obviously, I will know this one is not fully reconciled, and so it kind of works out that way. And then I'm gonna move right along here to low priority sinking funds because I do have to grab out our dine out money. So let's see, I know I'm gonna have a deficit here, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm returning 15 from dine out. There's a 0 balance. 15, dine out. And then I'm just gonna do like this so that I know that I returned 15, and then I will be able to reconcile the rest of my deficit when Mr. Simple and I go over our budget again in a couple days. Okay, so that takes care of dine out. And then the only other thing that I have left here, I haven't done my stuffing for hers yet. But this is going to come from my spending money. And so I'll just stuff my spending money envelope $25 less than I would have once I do my first stuffing of the month. So the only thing that remains is my gifts envelope. And I just got to grab $30 out of there. I don't know why I went so far back. It's always the first one. Oh, perfect. Okay, so 30. So 20, 30, and we've got 103 left in gifts. Alrighty, so let's see, I should have 102, 117, wait, 102, 132, 42, 47. I think that's what I should have here, $147. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 20, 30, 45, 46, and 47. 147? Oh, right. Did I say that? 100. Yes. All right. So that's it. And so then what we do now when I first started cash stuffing, when I first started the zero-based budgeting method, I would literally take this money back to the bank. And then I would go do a separate pull money out of the bank for my cash stuffing. Now what we do is we just repurpose this cash and use it towards our next cash stuffing. So whatever my planned cash amount is for Monday's cash stuffing, I will just pull out, $147 less or $147 less than what I would have needed to pull for Monday's cash stuffing. And that's how we do that, so that we're not running back and forth to the bank all the time. But when we were new, in order to just get the discipline down, we did. I went to the bank twice a week. I would return the cash from the unstuffing, and then I would go to the bank and get the cash out for my next cash stuffing. So do whatever works for you, but I promise you will get into the rhythm of whatever makes the most sense for your life and your budget and your just kind of general lifestyle too. So anyways, that is going to do it for me for today's video. I know it's kind of short and sweet, but I hope that you enjoyed it anyway. And if you did, I would love it so much if you would give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are up to this weekend, if your kiddos are going to be starting school soon, like ours, or if you guys are closer to what it was like when I was a kid. We didn't go back until after Labor Day. So anyways, I'm going to be back here with you guys again on Monday with a cash stuffing. Mr. Simple is going to be back with the cash stuffing, so that's fun for those of you who enjoy his presence. Not everyone does, but we do us anyway, so that's just going to be what it is. But yeah, you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you back here again on Monday. All right, bye everyone.